Hey guys, Thunder E here, and welcome to another battle vid. Now this one is between the Nexus 6 and the Lumia 1520, showcasing last year's and still the top Lumia smartphone with the 1520 against the Nexus 6 to find out how well they both compete. You can pick both of them, of course, on AT&T, as well as the Nexus 6 being available through Google Play, and we'll find out how well they both compete in terms of hardware, not software, because of course one runs Android, the other runs Windows Phone 8.1. So let's go ahead and jump in. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's take a look at the hardware first for both devices. First of all, taking a look at the Lumia 1520. Now we have a white 1520 here, and this is one of the standard Lumia builds, all polycarbonate shell. It's pretty much one piece of polycarbonate all the way through. Now on the back of the device, you have a 20 megapixel shooter here. This is a pure view camera with a dual LED flash. This also has wireless charging built in onto the device. You can get wireless charging with the international model. With the AT&T model, I think it's PMA. Now this is running the Snapdragon 800 processor with 2 gigs of RAM built into this device here. And as we pan out to the sides, you can see the buttons. You have the volume, power, and of course the camera button here. In the front, you have a 6-inch display. There's fingerprints all over the place there. This of course is the standard Lumia display here. I'm actually going to change my photo. I want to change my photo to something else. My lock screen, there we go. So this actually has a lovely 6-inch display on here, and you can see on the side you do have your ports for your SIM as well as your micro SD. Now this has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, expandable up to 128. In terms of profile and build, this is a very angular device. The speakers at the back. It's got 4 microphones to pick up sound, 2 in the back, of course 2 in the front altogether, and it does a very good job in taking photos as well as just handling overall. Now we do have the Nexus 6 here. This is of course made by Motorola for Google as a Nexus device. Comes with a 13 megapixel shooter here that records at 4K as opposed to 1080p on the Lumia 1520. It's got this similar design to the Moto X because it's built off that frame. You've got the Motorola dimple here. Now it's powered by a Snapdragon 805 processor, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigabytes of internal storage, not expandable in any form or fashion, so you cannot expand the storage here. On the side, you have your power and volume rocker. And now this spots a 6-inch or 5.9-inch, actually to be precise, QHD display. So this is a 2K display as opposed to a 1080p display on there. 2 megapixel front-facing camera on here, and your speakers are front-firing speakers on this device here. Now this also has built-in wireless charging as well as a 3220 milliamp battery in here on this device. So that is pretty much it in terms of hardware. Now in terms of hardware design, I would have to give it to the Nexus 6 because it is a smaller device in terms of size at 6 inches. You can see if I put them side to side, you can see the Lumia 1520 is slightly longer, and it's a very angular device. The Nexus 6 here is something, has better curves, better hold and fit on the device for you. So and it's got a nice premium finish with the aluminum band all around, while of course the Lumia 1520 has that solid polycarbonate feel, but it's very angular all the way, so it doesn't give you that very flush finish. So in terms of hardware design, that goes to the Nexus 6. But in terms of hardware specs also, the Nexus 6 also wins in that category. It's got the latest, of course, 805 processor, more RAM. It doesn't have a bigger camera sensor. It has a 13 megapixel shooter as opposed to 20. But I think in terms of overall specs, it packs more internally. So that's something where the Nexus 6 wins in there. Now, both of these devices run 2 different operating systems on here. We do have the Nexus 6 running Android 5.0 Lollipop, and the Windows Phone running Windows Phone 8.1, which of course is 2 different devices. Now you can see the 4K display is very vibrant, and actually if I actually change the brightness for you and change it to high, so we can actually change it to the highest resolution and the brightness here for the screen, you can tell the difference there in which actually illuminates the best. So I'm actually just going to raise this up a little bit just to showcase. You can see a 4K screen is actually just it's really bright, but I would have to tell you the Lumia does a pretty good job at actually matching up. But in terms of screen quality, of course, for the 2K display, I apologize, I said 4K display. 2K display is actually much better. But where we really want to test both devices is actually with the camera. The camera is where you actually find a lot of differentiation with most devices in terms of Android versus Windows devices. So let's first take a look at the camera app for the Nexus 6. So you do have your standard new Google camera app, where of course you have a camera button right here. You can cycle through a couple of options like a timer, a grid, HDR plus, flash auto, as well as switch to a front facing camera. If we slide to the right, we have photosphere, panorama, lens blur, camera, video, and we do have some camera settings where we can now change our resolution, also the image pixel size, as well as also aspect ratio for the camera itself. You have 13 megapixels at 4.3, 16 by 9 at 9.7. You can also record at 4K as well as 1080p and HD for the video aspects of the camera. So that's the camera and the camera app basic with some functionality built in. Now, if we actually fire up the camera app here, by holding down the camera button, we have the Lumia camera app. Now that gives us a couple of features. We have the basic feature sets where we can just quickly toggle between flash, go through auto, nighttime, sports, those kind of features. We can actually expand that through, and that gives us our full camera application layout where we have white balance, we have ISO, we also have a few other options in there. We can cycle through the camera, video, as well as smart sequence. Now if we go into camera here, if we pull out, we can actually see all the different things we can actually customize here. So like I mentioned, we can actually manually customize our ISO, change that. If we can manually customize, of course, our white balance, and also the different scene locations. So you can do a lot more with this camera app as opposed to what you find with the Nexus 6. So in terms of the camera applications, I have to definitely go with the Lumia camera app. It has the simple mode. It's also got a very in-depth photo mode. But of course, the true test is basically looking at images from both cameras. So we're going to take a look at video at 1080p from both cameras, as well as photos, to basically find out which handles things the best.
All right, guys. Hi, this is Thunder E. We are looking at recording from both the Lumia 1520 and the Nexus 6. So basically, both of these cameras have OIS. Of course, one shoots at 4K, one does not. The first recording which you're looking at is from the Nexus 6. Sorry, can't talk right now with all this wind. And it's pretty cold, chilly day. The second video will be from the 1520. I'm going to walk up to that post over there. But I'm just going to be recording some cars. I'm going to do this. I'll stop for a second, kind of shift around through darker, lighter areas so you get a good idea what it is. And I'm going to walk up so you get that, general sense with the shaky cam and all that fun jazz and all together. I'll take some photos out here with both cameras, do some low light stuff so you can see some photos yourself and take a good look and experience. But anyway, let's cut to the next video, if this is the first one, and then take some photos. Hi, this is Thunder E. We are looking at recording from both the Lumia 1520 and the Nexus 6. So basically, both of these cameras have OIS. Of course, one shoots at 4K, one does not. The first recording which you're looking at is from the Nexus 6. Sorry, can't talk right now with all this wind. And it's a pretty cold, chilly day. The second video will be from the 1520. I'm going to walk up to that post over there. I'm just going to be recording some cars. I'm going to do this. I'll stop for a second, kind of shift around through darker, lighter areas so you get a good idea what it is. And walk up so you get that, general sense with the shaky cam and all that fun jazz and all together. I'll take some photos out here with both cameras, do some low light stuff so you can see some photos yourself and take a good look and experience. But anyway, let's cut to the next video, if this is the first one, and then take some photos.
So we've taken a look at photos and videos from both cameras, and I have to tell you, the Lumia 1520 camera is still pretty much one of the best cameras in the market today. It does a great job in taking video, especially with a built-in OIS. Now, mind you, both cameras do have OIS built in, but it does take a really solid video. The photos come out much better, and its low light photo taking capabilities are excellent. This is where the Lumia device, the 1520, completely dominates over the Nexus 6. So I think on the camera, and also as well as the camera app, the Lumia 1520 wins. So overall, looking at both devices, we can easily see that the Lumia does best with, of course, its camera as well as its camera app. Both devices do very well in terms of battery life. I would still give a slight edge to the Nexus 6 because it's got a bigger battery. They both have wireless charging built into them. But the Nexus 6 comes with, of course, newer specs, newer processor. It's got a more ergonomic design in terms of hold and fit. So in this battle video, if I had to actually pick a winner, I would say the Nexus 6, just noting that, of course, you're not going to get the best camera quality off a smartphone off the Nexus 6, but it's still overall the better device as you look at it. So in our battle vid between the Nexus 6 and the Lumia 1520, I have to give it to the Nexus 6. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, let us know. Otherwise, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and favorite this video so we can make more videos for you. Do subscribe to the channel, and always enjoy your entertainment.